I'm ReZsaun.
And I'm Latoya.
And this is the Pursuit of Forever podcast. On this podcast, we recognize that forever is an aspiration. But to achieve it, we all need to work to identify the steps that we're taking daily.
On this platform, we want to use our experiences in love, marriage, parenting, and much more to help you achieve long-lasting, meaningful relationships.
Disclaimer, we are not marriage counselors or experts in the field, nor do we pretend to be. Instead, we aim to share our experiences, insights, and truths. These conversations are designed to help you to pursue long-lasting and fulfilling relationships.
We believe that happy, fulfilling marriages are possible if you're willing to do the necessary work. So let's get to it.
The Pursuit of Forever podcast can be listened to on Spotify, iTunes, and iHeartRadio.
Remember, you can only watch the podcast on our official Pursuit of Forever pages, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So make sure you follow each page, give us engagement. We love your feedback. And remember, you can also look up Pursuit of Forever by searching that on each platform.
Yep, and as of today's broadcast, we have reached, Latoya.
We have reached 220 Instagram followers, 795 Facebook followers, 392 in the TikTok family, and 29 on YouTube and climbing. So a total 1,436 followers.
Nice. Yo, so thank y'all so much for everybody who's subscribed so far.
Yeah.
If you haven't already done so, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. Just look up Pursuit of Forever, and on X is the Pursuit of the number 4 ever. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your engagement and spending time with us today.
Yeah, for sure. And if you guys are watching on the if you guys are watching live, make sure you say something in the comment section so we know that you're here. All right.
What's up, family?
What's up, Ohana? What up, my guy? Cuffs is in the building.
What's
okay,
up?
You already know my entire Hot Box gang always joins in and taps into these conversations. So
yes.
Shout out to them, man. Shout out
to the fam.
All right, so it's time for the check-in, baby.
Check-in, you're first this time.
I'm going first? All right, cool. No problem. Actually, seeing Cups actually reminds me of one thing that I wanted to check in with was my trip to Tulsa last week.
Oh, yeah.
So last week, I actually got the great opportunity to visit Tulsa, Oklahoma, home of the 1921 Greenwood Massacre, where I actually was attending a conference that was held by PEER, which is an organization that functions in creating and supporting equity in education. It was an amazing trip. I had a great opportunity to find other people that are in the field that I work in. Got to spend some time with my guy Cups, who represents all the way from Richmond, Virginia.
Yes.
He came down. He is a community organizer who's going to be doing some big things in the future, so keep your eyes out for him. But the bottom line is that I was able to really make some connections that are really going to help the organization grow that I work for and work with, and it also allowed me to get better at my community organizing as a whole. So that was amazing for me. I definitely miss my family.
Yeah, we missed you.
I miss my family a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to be back home and be back with you guys. And I'm actually at day 24 for those who are keeping track at home of my Operation Get Right. I've been waking up early so I can go to the gym. I've been making healthier choices. I've been taking my supplements. And I've been working out consistently.
You have. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, babe. I'm already seeing results. I'm already seeing, outcomes. But it's just the beginning. So I'm looking forward to a long journey. What about you, babe?
Oh, what can I say? I'm still dealing with the wagon being rolled over me at this point. Just literally, like we talked about before. Yeah, the wagon. And trying to just manage life and all things life related. All the kids right now are working, so just trying to manage their schedules and my schedules to kind of put my mask on. So that is one thing that I will be working towards within the next week.
Tulsa has the best Uber drivers. That is hysterical.
Well, that's good. That's good to know.
Tulsa does not have the best Uber drivers.
Oh, it was a joke. Okay.
No, it's an extreme joke.
Shoot.
And I know why he brought that up.
That was the
part of my check-in is, hey guys, post-election, if you drive Uber, let's not talk to the people who get in your car about the election. They may not feel the way that you do about it, one way or the other. And it's an extremely uncomfortable conversation for those who are trying to not talk to you. So let's not talk to people who get into your car about the election. That when we were in Tulsa, Oklahoma, we took, I want to say 6 Ubers, and 4 of them, the first 4 specifically, talked to us about the election. One person was particularly cantankerous in his opinions about the election. And so I had to dive deep into my political science bag, which I really didn't want to do with him. It was Yeah, if you're really uninformed and you don't really know what happens in politics, this is not the time for you to get your stuff off. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
So wagon,
Crazy.
sorry.
No, you're fine. No, essentially, yeah, like I said, right now my focus is literally now trying to get on the wagon and not under the wagon at this point. So really just trying to navigate how I'm going to put my mask on first. So I have goals and aspirations and things that I want to do. But now I'm trying to figure out how to manage that. So as we talked in the last pod, I kind of shared a little bit about like how that's a thing for me. So that's something I want to, try to do better at.
All right, nice, 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 and thank you everybody who's tuning in, tapping in. We really
Yes.
appreciate you guys, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or if you're listening live from Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio.
Yes.
We definitely appreciate each of you guys tuning in every week. All right, so let's go into our. We did our check-in. Let's go into our video of the week. Toya, you have the video this week, so I'm gonna go ahead and load it up and
Okay.
let you say some words while I'm doing it.
Okay, so this week's video is coming from a follow called Apex Class on TikTok. I like to pull a lot of my videos from TikTok. I think that's like my preferred form of social media right now. So yeah, let's get the video started and we can discuss it afterwards.
All right, here we go. Make it full screen so y'all can see it. Let's go.
Women are attracted, generally speaking, the research shows, to men based on 3 reasons. The third is kindness. They don't want someone who's going to be a good person. They're impressed by men who are good to their parents and kind and go out of their way to help people when there's no reciprocal expectation. The second is intelligence, because the smarter you are, the more likely you are to make good decisions and protect your family's offspring. And by the way, the fastest way to communicate intelligence is humor. I've always said if you can make a woman laugh, you can kiss her.
Wow.
And then the most important thing, though, to women, and people don't like to admit this, is the man's ability to signal future resources. It's not even he has to be rich now, but he has to have his act together such that he looks like he will be a decent provider. And the number of people, the number of men we're producing that qualify in this category is shrinking.
Oh, wow. Okay. That was an abrupt cutoff.
It was.
I would have liked to hear more from him about that.
Yeah. So there's I believe there's more to it. Sometimes people split the videos so you can kind of get like a little taste of the soundbite. I believe there's more on the page if you want to follow.
Oh, for sure. What were your takeaways?
My takeaway from the video from Apex Class is I think pretty much everything that he was spitting was true. Definitely think that I can just speak for myself. No one is wanting or desiring to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't have the ability to, be a good human in the future. I think with women, I think we look for security in relationships, and definitely that's a part of it, making sure that you can provide for your family, and like you said, kind of do all the things.
Yeah, for sure. So I've heard it said that women value security, men value respect. Women will trade security for love. Men will trade respect for love. It's some people believe it to be foundational. I actually agree a lot with what he said. I also love that he said that you don't have to have all your stuff together right now.
Yeah, no.
But you need to at least be on a trajectory to having your stuff together. I think that was an excellent point.
Yeah.
I like that video a lot. And I like all the videos that you select. You do a really good job of finding stuff with perspective. Me being not focused, I don't have my video for this week.
It's okay.
So I'm just going to take yours and just say great job.
Well, thanks,
Proud of
man.
you. You did that.
Thanks.
And if you guys, of course, we always like to share out our videos of the week, so we'll make sure we share it out on our TikTok for this week. So make sure you check that out.
And of course, if you're not following our TikTok, you can follow us.
If you're not following us on TikTok, Pursuit of Forever, we actually post snippets from the episode. So if you miss an episode and you just want to catch like some of the highlights, we always do post our social media, our updates on social media and our clips on social media as well.
Absolutely.
So check those out.
Check it out.
All right. So top three for this week.
You this time.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I did last week.
Okay. Top three. Top three things that you're attracted to.
Oh, well, that would kind of be like the opposite of my pet peeves. I am attracted to intellect. I am attracted to, I kind of like what he said. I like to laugh, and conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Yes. So for me, if I was talking, and I want you guys in the comment section, make sure you put your top three as well, or you can put one if you
Top
want.
three things you're attracted
That
to.
you're attracted to. I am attracted to personality. I'm very big on like, do I like you? Do we get along? Do you challenge me? But not do you challenge me in like I'm a strong, independent woman, and you
Yeah,
like,
I don't need
and
no
like, do you
man.
challenge me? Like, do you make me want to be better?
Okay.
Yeah, your personality. Do you challenge me? And teeth.
Keep bringing up the teeth.
Teeth matter to
Teeth
me.
again.
I like a nice smile.
Have teeth always mattered to you?
I don't know.
Has it just been because my teeth have now been?
I think
You recognize it more.
I think teeth have always mattered to me, but I don't think I've always been like very particular about like, because when you're growing up, you sort of like just you're
attracted
figuring
to
that
different
stuff
things,
out.
yeah.
But like teeth like matter to me. Hygiene matters to me.
Oh my gosh, that is
right?
a pet peeve. Of mine.
Those are things that attract me, and of
Yeah.
course, there are physical things that attract me as well.
course.
But I'm not getting into that. All right. What are your top three things that attract you to someone?
Yeah, tell us in the comments.
Tell us in the comment section.
Top three things.
All right. Let's see. Pursuit of Forever date night playlist. We do have the Pursuit of Forever date night playlist. This playlist is comprised of blah blah blah. This playlist is comprised of songs we've heard over the years and added to the ambience of our date nights over our 19, soon to be 20 years together.
20.
As of now, we have over 522 songs.
548.
548 songs.
Yeah.
Woo. And it's growing every day.
Absolutely.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. What's your song for today, Toy?
So my song is "When You Love Someone." It was originally when I first heard it, it was by Donnell Jones, but the version that I added to the Pursuit of Forever playlist is one by Tone. Is it
Tone
Smith?
Stith?
Yes. He popped up on my page as a person I would like to listen to, and so I definitely added him because I thought he had a great voice.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to go to my guy, Rico Love. I'm pretty sure I have Rico Love in here somewhere.
Okay.
Where's Rico at? Where's that? Rico. Amsterdam.
Oh yeah.
Amsterdam by
Yeah.
Rico Love. Rico Love is an underrated. So Rico Love is known for writing hits for Usher. He wrote
All the bangers.
Yeah for Usher. He wrote Ring the Alarm for no, Ring the Alarm was Sean Garrett. He wrote another song for Beyonce. What song was it?
I can't think of it now. It was
Oh,
Turn the
man.
Lights Off. The Turn the Lights Off was on it, but I can't remember the doggone song.
Sweet Dream, Beautiful
It
Nightmare.
was, yeah.
He's written those types of songs, but he also has 2 albums that are flipping phenomenal.
All the way through.
The entire,
all the way
I
through.
press play and I just listen. And
It's-
Amsterdam is one of those songs.
Yeah.
So shout out to Rico Love for. See, Mike, you see him. Rico
Yeah.
is so underrated. He's mad underrated.
Yes.
So
I would
that's-
also say too, like his album is one of those albums that you like listen to and you're like, oh my gosh, it's over.
Yeah.
I
So
listened to
just
the whole
do it
thing.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. I love an album like that.
Love Rico Love. Shout out to Rico Love. All right, so let's do our current event topic for today.
Okay.
All right, current events topic. So I think we got to talk about the Tyson fight.
Oh. The Bunkie?
We're not talking about the Bunkie. We're talking about the Tyson
The
fight.
Bunkie.
All right, Toya, take it away, my sports aficionado.
Sorry.
You were looking to see if ISIS was.
No, because she had asked me the next day. She was like, "Mommy, what does this mean?" My post.
Oh, she don't know what Bunkie is.
She knew what it was, but she didn't. It was no context to it.
Oh.
But people who saw it knew the context to the post.
But if you're not from Charleston, you might not know what Bunkie is.
Oh, Bunkie is your butt.
Bunkie is your butt.
Is your butt.
So
But
Toy, the first
it's
thing
the
Toy wants to
Geechee.
talk about. Go ahead, talk
Is
about it.
the Bunkie that I was forced to look at
You were not
online.
forced.
It was on the TV.
It was on the TV. Go ahead.
But after listening
Talk about what
After
happened.
listening to, so there was a there was a interview with Mike Tyson and his son. I forgot what the son's name is right now.
I can't remember his name.
But Mike Tyson and his son had done like a pre-interview.
Yeah.
And they did like, it was a really sweet exchange. I thought it was sweet to be able to like him hugging and then kissing his son. Because of course, we talked about how that's not really how people show love sometimes, and it's frowned upon. And so I thought it was a sweet, interaction. And then after the kiss happened, he kind of like hugged him and dapped him up. And then he turned around and the cameraman panned down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is his bunkie out? And why?
Yeah.
Just why? I mean, and at first I was like, well, maybe it's like a tactic for people to like, oh my gosh, have something else to talk about as far as like getting people to watch the show and getting more eyes on it. I don't know, but I just would rather have not seen his bunkie.
Yeah, that was really weird. That was really weird. So I'm not.
I didn't get that. I was just like, was he not dressed? Like, what's happening? Bunkie.
It's your butt.
It's the butt.
Baby.
She's asking again.
My baby's not from Charleston. She don't know Bunkie.
She's not. She's from suburbia.
She's from Somerville.
Suburbia.
It's all right. But so getting to the fights, the actual action on the court, in the boxing match, the boxing ring.
Yeah.
So there actually was a good slate of fights that night.
It was.
I can't remember the first fight because we didn't watch all of them. We caught the last three.
We started watching the women's.
No, we started right before the women's one because I forgot the guy's name. That fight was a good fight.
I don't even remember that.
It was a draw. It was when it was a draw.
Okay.
And then the fight
women's
after
took my
it
attention.
was the women's fight, which what's that lady's name? Amanda Serrano.
Yeah.
Amanda Serrano fought against Katie something who. I don't care.
Yeah, we don't
because
care. I'm sorry.
Katie robbed. They robbed
Yes,
Amanda
they
Serrano.
did.
That lady beat the brakes off of Katie, and all Katie did the thick neck thief. Come on, my guy. The thick neck thief.
Yes, he is.
Katie, the thick neck thief.
Oh my gosh! I kept on wondering why her neck was so big.
They stole that fight, which is actually interesting because the allegations were that they cheated her out of the first fight because that was the second time they fought.
Oh wow!
Katie kept headbutting Amanda Serrano in the face in the exact same place over and over and over again, and her eye was busted open from headbutts, and then she was taking her head and rubbing it in the place. Like I thought this lady's eyeball was gonna fall out on live television.
It was a lot, and you wanted to turn it off, and I was like, no, because I just knew in my mind, I knew they were gonna give it to her. I knew like, oh my gosh, this girl is fighting. She is in the trenches.
Yeah.
She got blood in her eye. Like she is going in and doing all the things. I'm like, when the cards come up, the cards are gonna show. Obviously, she's gonna be the winner. She's gonna be victorious, and when that happened, I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I mean, I thought, okay, she's gonna you kept on thinking they were gonna call it, right? Because she was bleeding so much and everything.
They should have called it.
But I mean, even with that, I'm like, there's no way. Did they ever show the cards? Because that was nuts. There's no way to me.
Yeah,
she beat her off skill.
But that's the thing. They said that, what's crazy, right? So they went the full fight. If you ask me, Amanda beat her in every single round.
Yeah.
And they took away a point from her for headbutting.
Mm-hmm.
And she still won by a point. It made no sense from a boxing scoring standpoint, but it's also why people have moved off of boxing for the most part because of these it's a continued thing where these judges are completely compromised. Nobody trusts the sport of boxing, but that's what leads us to the final fight of the night. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul.
It was a sleeper for me.
Can I also say this? Roy Jones Jr., if you're watching this, Roy Jones Jr., please don't ever step near a microphone to call a fight ever again. I enjoyed Rosie Perez's analysis much more than Roy Jones. I was extremely disappointed in hearing one of our greats be such a hater the entire match.
On camera. And
you can tell it was rigged. Mm-hmm. I'm going to use the word. I don't use this word often. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But I'm gonna go in my One Mic podcast bag right now. That fight was rigged from jump. That fight was rigged from jump. Mike Tyson fought maybe 30 seconds, and he didn't fight 30 seconds. He threw a few punches for the first 30 seconds, and then after that point, It was all love. It was all love fest. It was all fest. It's all a love fest. It was Mike Tyson coming out of his stance. You know Mike Tyson when he's ready to punch. He knows his angles. He is a trained boxer. Now, can Mike Tyson get in the ring with one of the top boxers, or shoot, even a bottom boxer, a bottom level boxer, and hold his own right now? Maybe not.
Wow.
But against Jake Paul,
Yeah. I don't know.
there were way too many openings that I know Mike Tyson saw. You could tell he wanted to. He did not like Mike's legs. That was the weirdest thing. He started saying that like out of the blue. Like, I don't like Mike's legs. I don't like Mike's legs. Mike's legs were fine. His legs were under him. He didn't like he was about to fall down. It wasn't nothing weird going on Mike's legs. Mike wasn't moving around. He didn't have like he didn't have bounce in his step. But them arms was arming.
Yeah.
Those swings were swinging. And then halfway through the first round, he completely stopped swinging. And it was the most frustrating thing in the world.
Yeah.
It was the most frustrating thing in the world. And from a social standpoint, I know y'all not here to talk boxing analysis. It bothers me because of this. Jake Paul, if you looked at it, Jake Paul is building his legacy by beating black greats. Black greats who were great a long, long, long time ago.
Right.
Or blacks who are great in a different sport. So yeah, if you knock out Nate Robinson, who was an NBA player, all right. Like that's the circus. But going into the ring with Anderson Silva, and Anderson Silva taking the dive that he did,
Yeah, no.
that bothered me. Watching Mike Tyson get in the ring and not fight. Like, if he had got knocked out, I'm like, okay, cool. He knocked him out. You got it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
He didn't.
I'm assuming the motivation behind it was the funds. Was
He
the bag.
made $20 million.
Was the bag.
He made the bag, and I'm glad that he made the bag. I'm so happy that he made the bag. But there's no bone in my body that tells me that Mike Tyson, if he took one full round and went after Jake Paul, that he would knock that boy out.
Yeah. And maybe he didn't want to put himself in that position to possibly get hurt in his senior years.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that bothered me. What up,
But,
Ray?
yeah.
Hey, sis. I'm bothered because we could easily see it was rigged. Absolutely. Yep, that's it. Yeah. Jake Paul is a privileged poser. Yep. Butt in the air and everything. Dog, wow. Like, he couldn't even stand. Like, his stance was all the way off. He couldn't even get his stance right, bruh. He didn't even stand like a boxer. They danced, instead of a knockout, they danced for 30 minutes. Great cardio. Rocky Marciano all over again. Dog, and so now this man is building legacies, and this is not a racial thing because it's not a racial podcast, but this man is building his legacy off of beating black greats. Dog, go find. I'm not gonna say it, but that bothers me.
Yeah.
From a social and structural standpoint, that just bothers me. So that's how I felt. If you enjoyed it, good for you. Rematch, I pray to God
I hope not.
I pray to God
Yeah,
not.
I
I pray to
hope
God I never see Mike Tyson in the ring again. If that's what he's gonna get in the ring and do. If he's gonna get in the ring and make a bag for not fighting, I'm not here for it. I'm all for my people getting their money. I'm so glad he made $20 million. He probably never made $20 million on a fight in his life.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that he made that money. But I don't want to see my greats doing that. I'm sorry. Y'all can have it if that's what you want. You go ahead and clamor for it. I'm not turning it on.
Andrew Tate is next.
Andrew Tate is next. If Andrew Tate fights Jake Paul, that will be the first fight I ever wish that two people could get knocked out at the same time. All right. That being said, anything else on the current events, babe? On the fight? That's it. All right, cool. So that gets us to our topic of the day. And today's topic is, baby, fighting fair in your relationship. Fighting fair in your relationship. Can you take that?
I'm
Go
not
ahead.
sure.
Go ahead. All right, let me switch the screen. Fighting fair in your relationship. So today's topic is about fighting fair because, at times in relationships, we find ourselves in situations where we have conflict. Of course, conflict is going to happen. Conflict's going to come, but we definitely have the opportunity and the choice to make decisions and choices about how we engage. So today we want to talk about our experiences with that. And then we want to engage and have conversations about some tips about, how to fight fair in a relationship. So Toya, for you, what does it mean to fight fair?
Fighting fair is giving the other person an opportunity to speak, and letting them, have the stage to kind of share whatever concerns they may have without interrupting, and then working together.
So okay, let's instead of starting with fighting fair, what is fighting unfair to you?
Not really letting you have a chance to discuss what type of issue you may have.
All right.
Interrupting, not showing you that, whatever the thing may be is important. What about you?
Yeah. One, not hitting below the belt.
Yeah.
Right. Not using words or terminology that is abusive or hurtful to the person that you care about. I definitely have been in situations where the fair fighting was not happening. And not only did it impact that specific moment, but it impacted me long into that relationship to the point where I no longer wanted to be in the relationship, unfortunately. And I guess, or fortunately, because I ended up here, which is dope. But when I feel like it's not a fair fight, you're using my past against me. If you know that I have experienced a traumatic incident or event, using our disagreement as an opportunity to bring that up, even throwing something from the past of our relationship in my face. That's also a form of, fighting unfair.
Yep.
Because, what happened in the past is the past. And once we've gotten past it, we've gotten past it.
Period.
So to bring it up again in the context of this conversation, especially if it doesn't apply, that is a form of fighting unfair because I can't change the past.
Yeah.
I can't change the fact that you forgave me for whatever it is that happened and that we moved on. And if I did the same to you, it's also fighting unfair. So yeah, that's it for me.
I agree.
In terms of what you witnessed growing up in terms of relationships, what have you seen? Are there anything that you saw that was like, yo, that was something that I never wanted to do in a relationship to somebody that I was with?
I'm trying to think. I would probably just say being selfish in general, right? So when we think about relationships, we talk about like, okay, previously it's it's me. And when you're in a relationship, it's we. So I think just being selfish in general and just not involving your partner, your spouse in, the things that you're going to do, or you make choices by yourself without involving the other person or thinking about how those choices can affect the person that you're with or your family.
Yeah.
That's my experience. What about you?
Yeah. Of course, a lot. I mean, I've seen a lot, whether it be, domestic violence, whether it be men hitting women, women hitting men. I've seen family members, stuff being brought into the situation that had nothing to do with the situation. I've heard moms be called certain names. I've heard fathers be called certain names.
Wow.
I've heard a lot. I heard that's why your granny did this with blah, and like I've heard all of that. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, that is the way we've learned to experience and express our frustration as opposed to dealing with the individual situation that you're dealing with. Because when you're doing that, you're not creating an environment where the problem can be solved.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely a form of fighting unfair as well.
I agree. Yeah. It doesn't make a safe space for any type of conversation whatsoever.
Okay. Yeah. So when we talk, in terms of the article that we have 5 tips for fighting fair in your relationship. So tip number 1. So make sure, going with the rules from last week.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I see Sheree. Let me, my sister Ray, what you got? She said, fighting unfair. Being cold, talking over them, name calling, throwing up flaws, bringing up stuff you said you were over, etc.
Yes.
Absolutely. Each of those things, absolutely all those things are fighting unfair. Fighting unfair. Like it's like you know your partner's triggers.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you know your partner has been struggling with their weight, and you know, you take the opportunity during this disagreement to call them fat, or to say, I think you're so
good. You don't need to eat anymore.
yeah, like that kind of thing, or like you're so dumb, or you know, people's triggers are, you know, the things that sort of, especially if it's something that somebody told you from, you know, in confidence, in a loving relationship, that hey, it bothers me when people do this to me, which hopefully in your relationship you're having a conversation to find out the things that do bother people.
Absolutely.
Or
Have
even if
that
they don't tell you,
conversation.
you're watching to recognize, oh, Dip, when somebody says this, it really bothers them.
Yeah.
Or there's something that really gets to them, that you don't push those buttons because you see that they're there. So with that being said, 5 tips for fighting fair. Going back to last week's rules, I'm going to say the tip, and then I'm going to say the header, and I want you to type it into the comment section so we can make sure that people who are watching at home can also get these.
Yeah.
All right. So tip number one, stick to the issue at hand. Stick to the issue at hand. Type it in the comment section. I'm going to wait.
You got to give this
Stick
time.
to the issue at hand.
Stick
I
to
see
it.
you, Mike.
Stick to it.
Stick to the issue at hand. All right. So stick to the issue at hand. When emotions are high, it is tempting to bring up an unrelated past grievance or generalize, you always do this or you never do that. Instead, focus on the specific issue causing the disagreement. Stay present and avoid dragging in unrelated arguments or past mistakes.
Yeah. In the past, that was one of the things that I would do. Like, because, I really don't care about what we're talking about right now. I want to bring up this other thing because that's also something else that was unresolved.
Well, it's also the fact that in the thing that you bring up, chances are it's an instance that you felt like you were right. So I don't want to talk about the thing that I did wrong. Let's go back to the thing where I was right in and argue about that.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's possible.
And when we don't stick, so if we have one issue and we don't talk about that issue, we don't resolve that one issue, we can't move past that issue. So if somebody brings up something, deal with that one issue.
Period. Yeah.
You know, because again, the goal isn't to win the argument. The goal is to be together, to move along in this relationship, and to solve this issue.
Yeah.
And if we get to our next issue, then we'll solve the next issue. But for now, for number one, we are going to stick to the issue at hand. All right. Number two, use I statements instead of you statements. Use I statements instead of you statements. Go ahead and type that in the comment section. Use I statements instead of you statements, babe.
So when you express your feelings, it's good to frame your thoughts with I statements to avoid sounding accusatory. For example, instead of saying you never listen to me, try saying I feel unheard when I don't feel acknowledged in conversations specifically. This approach is less likely to trigger defensiveness in conversations, and it promotes understanding. And why this helps is because it helps you focus on your feelings rather than assigning blame in the situation. So it also encourages your partner as well to listen rather than get defensive.
Yeah, I actually I like this one a lot. I actually try not to use I or you statements because in many situations, right? In many situations, people hope we're not frozen. In many situations, the I and the you is I'm right, you're wrong. I try to use we, us statements. And even in doing that, it makes me think about my language. And when I'm thinking about my language, not only am I making sure that I'm using the right pronouns, but I'm also catering my words in a way that you can understand them and not hear them. My goal isn't for you to hear me say words.
Right.
My goal is for you to understand the context of what I'm saying so that we can grow and develop and, again, be together.
Right.
I don't need to win.
Yeah.
So it shows that that both of us are actively involved.
Yeah, in the conversation.
In the conversation.
For sure.
What are your
for
thoughts?
Sure. I definitely agree. I think that this is a good tip because it kind of, like you said, it gives time for both parties to air whatever the grievances are. And then it gives you a safe space, kind of like what we were talking about before. So it's not like I'm bringing this up so I can accuse you. It's
Right.
like I'm bringing this up so we can kind of figure out how we're going to fix the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and you can bring it to something simple, right? Like, you know, if you don't feel like she's cooking enough, right? Coming in, hey babe, all right, you know what? Like, do we need to work on a schedule in terms of like, because I'm noticing, that you're not cooking as much as you used to, right? So is there something that I can do that will make it easier for you to cook? Is it, or do you want me to cook more? We actually had that situation where you were like, I'm cooking all the time.
Yeah.
Nobody else is cooking. So what did we do?
We came up with a plan.
We
so
came up with a
other
plan.
people can cook.
Right.
Yeah.
That's something we have to do. We have to make sure that we, again, my goal is like, I could come in and say, why aren't you cooking?
Yeah.
You my wife. When we got together, you were cooking all the time, and I got used to that, so you need to cook more. Instead, it was, hey, I noticed that you're not cooking as much as you used to. What's going on? How can I help more?
Yeah, how can I
Now
support?
we're working towards a solution as opposed to
Blaming, pointing the
blame.
finger.
Right? Now I'm taking accountability. If there's something I'm not doing that can make the situation better.
Yeah.
And so many times we don't do that.
Yeah.
We do not do that.
For sure.
We look to win.
Yeah.
Well, I'm right about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you cook? Yes or no? Did you cook when we got together? Yes, you did.
I
You
cooked.
cooked. Now you don't ever want to cook. What?
Yeah.
So you
I'm
need
in
to
my
cook.
soft girl era.
You need to cook, right? Or no, hey babe,
I really like your cooking.
I really enjoy
enjoy
I love
your
eating, like
home cooked meals.
eating out is cool, right? But there's something to me that's really special about eating at home.
Yeah.
So I like to have home cooked meals, right? So what did we decide to do?
We came up with a plan.
Came with a plan. What was the plan?
The plan was that everybody got a day to cook.
Everybody in our family now
love
has a
it.
day to cook.
It's
right?
awesome.
Everybody has a day to cook.
Yeah, they didn't think it was awesome at first, but I think they're coming around.
They are coming around, and they're learning how to cook their own recipes.
Yeah, and the recipes are good. They're doing a great job.
I mean, at first it was a struggle.
Yeah.
It was a struggle, but they have really grown. They've really grown in their cooking. They've become much better at it. They're learning different recipes, and they're going to be have to feed themselves.
Yes.
And it makes the load lighter on you.
Absolutely.
Even though you still help with them. So,
I do.
So there's that. But that's another, okay, cool. Let's see. I see comments. Let me go back here. Ray said, I'm so convicted by this convo. I'm grateful for increasing my emotional intelligence because, once upon a time, now a safe space is necessary for us both.
Absolutely.
A
It's
safe
growth.
space
Growth.
is necessary for us both. I don't need a safe space. We need a safe space. And we need to be each other's safe space.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. That's really good. Don't be, Ecclesiastes 7:9, my guy. Don't be quickly provoked in your spirit to be angry, for anger lodges in the bosom of fools. In the bosom of fools. That's right, Bob. You better talk about it. Now, I'm going to say I'm hungry and I love your cooking. That is hysterical.
I mean,
work with her. She just had a baby.
Yeah. I'm hungry and I love your cooking, but I will settle for something else.
Well, he said, I do the cooking in the house. I love to cook. See,
Okay,
that's good.
so yeah.
Your love language. See,
Right.
your love language
Yeah,
might
yeah.
be cooking and making sure that your family's fed. I'm not a big cooker. I can cook. When I want to, but I like to take my time with cooking. You know that. I don't like using, like when I cook, when I cook, I'm not using no processors. I'm not using like
processor.
Nah, like I'm not using an air fryer.
Oh, okay. I'm like a processor.
Like the quick stuff. Like
Gotcha.
I want to take the time. Like people have seen me when I get my recipes and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like I go out and I really cook. Like I'm looking for recipes.
Mm-hmm.
I want to buy fresh ingredients. I want to chop them up. I want to do the things because seeing my family eat the food that I made and enjoy it makes me happy.
Yeah.
I just don't have time to do that every day.
But you have time to do it every week.
Every week I do. That's my Daddy Thursdays.
And
all right,
that's where we are now.
Let's see. I'm definitely taking that with my family, giving everybody a day to cook. Yeah, man, do it. It's dope.
It's really fun.
It's really dope.
It is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I cooked too. Cup said ramen for the whole squad.
Okay.
Hysterical.
Well, I hope they get different packs of ramen. Like
I don't know.
I wonder if he's went to one of the
Air
ramen
fried
places.
chicken nuggets are a delicacy. So Toya, Cups is an only child.
Okay.
Cups is a very picky eater.
Usually only children are very picky in all
what did I
aspects
tell
of
you?
the word.
What did I tell you? Give yourself credit. You be going in. You already know my guy. You
He does
know.
his thing. He does his thing in the kitchen.
I definitely do my thing in the kitchen. I'm very proud of me. Very proud of me. All right, cool. Let's get back to the tips. Number three. Number three. Make sure you type it in the comment section. Take breaks when needed.
Take breaks.
Take breaks when needed. All right. If the argument becomes too heated, it's okay to take a pause. Let your partner know you need a moment to cool down and gather your thoughts. Set a specific time to revisit the conversation once both of you are calmer and ready to talk constructively. Why it helps? Cooling off allows both partners to approach the conversation with clarity and emotional regulation, reducing the likelihood of saying something hurtful in the heat of the moment. So that tip was take breaks when needed. Toya.
Yeah, so definitely this was one of the ones I had to work on too, because we kind of talked about before, like how we have conversations and how you're like the one who wants to have the conversation now, and I need a little bit more time to like process. But definitely taking the breaks helps to be able to. I like the fact that they said set the specific time to come back and have that conversation where okay, we're gonna delve into this and really get into what it is and come up with a resolution. And like I said too, then it allows both parties time to kind of not be hot-headed about it or get to a place where it's elevated.
Yeah, I mean, and so also when you take a break, and again, that part, that the key word is break, right? It's not, we're not going to talk about this anymore.
Right.
We're going to take time away from it. We're going to process our thoughts. We're going to process the things that we've said. We're going to process the things that we want to say, and maybe try to find a better way to say them. Because there's times where me and you'll be talking about something, and I'll be like, dang, I shouldn't have said it like that.
Right.
Because she's not going to hear what I'm trying to say. So I need to say it a different way. And I'll come back to you like, babe, you know what? When I said this that way, I really apologize. I didn't mean to do that.
Right.
The break gives me time to sort of flesh that out of my head.
Yeah.
And do that. So I definitely agree. And, like you said, you are somebody who's a processor.
Yes.
You need your time to really think through stuff. And so I've had to learn to like back off sometimes. Be like, all right, she's not ready yet.
And not everybody is exactly the same, right? So too, like you have to figure out your partner in the scenario. Like you have to know, are they the type of person who wants to have the conversation right now? And you're able to go in and continue doing all these things and talk, or do you need time? Do you need that time frame? And also too, like we said, setting the time that you're going to come back also helps the other person to know this isn't something we're just going to put stick a pin in and never talk about again.
And something I would probably suggest, and I don't even know if this is this is in there. So when you take a break, when you take that break, something I would also suggest is maybe changing the scenery. So if you started the conversation in the house, maybe you go for a ride, a drive, and you have the conversation there, or you go to dinner, and you have the conversation over dinner, or you go out to get if you can manage having drinks and still have coherent conversations, then by all means use that as well. Like change up the scenery. That allows you to sort of reset yourselves, and just come at it from a different standpoint. Hey, babe, I want you to. Can you go put some shoes on? Let's go out. Let's go walk in the park and finish this conversation. Because the goal again isn't to avoid. It's not to avoid. It's to continue, but in love.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
All right.
That's good. Babe.
Number 4, baby.
Number 4. Listen to understand, not to respond. I feel like we've said this one before.
Yeah.
It's common to start formulating a response while the other person is talking. But this can prevent you from being able to truly understand what their perspective is.
Yeah.
So practicing active listening with your partner is important by giving them your full attention, paraphrasing what they've said, and validating their feelings, even if you don't fully agree. I like that because I think we talked about previously before the giving them the full attention, like undivided attention, and then saying what I heard you say was, but we've never said, I'm going to validate your feelings even if I don't agree with it. Because I think sometimes too, like people don't do that. And then it's like, okay, well, I hear you. This is what I heard you say. And now I'm going to tell you what I think about it.
No, the validating of feelings is something that I've learned more as I've gotten older, especially dealing with our children.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of times that they feel certain ways that I completely disagree with. But I still want them to talk to me.
Yeah.
So what I've learned to say is, I understand that you feel that way. I understand that you feel that blankety, blankety, blank. I just also want to add to that what I feel is yada, 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 yada.
Yeah.
And what that allows us to do is to bring their feelings into my comments and to provide additional, as opposed to taking away from or saying that what you think doesn't matter. So like even like you can dismiss somebody's statements by doing that. So you could say, I get that you feel like he should be able to stay out late. but that don't matter to me. Right? But I can say,
Yeah.
or I can say, I understand that you feel like you should be able to stay out late, but I need you to understand that as your father, I get really worried when you're out late and I don't know where you are. So I feel a lot better when I know that I can reach out and talk to you if something ever happens, or that you can call me. So let's find some kind of middle ground. So even something that works with kids, with your youth, with your children, but it's something that will work in your marriage as well. And a lot of times we'll say, well, I don't want you to treat me like you would treat the child. Well, guess what, y'all? Sometimes the reason we think of that is because we think of speaking to children as like, I don't have to respect a child, so I can talk to a child any kind of way I want to. But if we look at it through the lens of we should respect our children as well, we would also treat our spouses that way as well.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, it's going to build mutual respect on like both parties. And when people feel heard, they're more likely to reciprocate that type of conversation.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier for you to resolve the issue. So,
And that whole like thinking, like just going back to like, I know I sort of got off track with the thinking, listen to understand, not to respond. You can tell when somebody's doing that.
I'm laughing at the comment.
You can tell when they're doing that, right? You can tell when somebody is not at all listening to what you have to say, because they're literally just waiting for you to take a breath so they can jump in with their response to the one thing that you said. That is extremely unhelpful in a relationship. Hear your partner out, give them an opportunity to express their thought, bring their comment into what you're trying to say. If you feel the need to respond,
Right.
Sometimes you don't need to respond at all.
I agree.
Sometimes it doesn't require response at all, except for, baby, I hear you.
Yeah.
Baby, I understand. Baby, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So number 5, babe.
Oh, we got a comment. My husband just shared that with me. He needs to be heard regardless of me agreeing or not. Absolutely.
That's true. That's true.
Absolutely. Right? Because there may be a situation where this is the first time he's felt comfortable enough to tell you how he feels. And he knew you disagree. But you need to hear that he feels that way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, back to the cooking thing, right? If I said, babe, I noticed that you're not cooking, I'm expressing a need, right? I'm expressing a need for me, something that's important to me. Yeah, I can eat out. We have food.
Right.
We have money to eat out. But something is special to me when you cook. So I'm expressing that from you, I need this. Now, you can either bark back at me and tell me all the reasons that you're not cooking.
Right.
Or you can say,
I don't feel like cooking, but I can compromise and we can go get something you want to eat.
but in that you didn't, no, see, and you didn't.
But no,
no, see,
in acknowledging
yeah,
it, I would
all right.
say I really appreciate the fact that you like that, I cook dinner, but I like to know what I'm cooking ahead of time, and I don't like to be rushed when I'm cooking. So I didn't have a chance to plan what I'm going to cook tonight. So is it okay if I make something else that's not a home cooked situation?
So I'm going to push back.
Okay.
This is something that's dope, right? I'm going to push back because in that, you didn't actually acknowledge the fact of what was at the heart of what I was saying.
Which is that you want me to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying it and that's really, I'm using
Yeah.
cook because there's other things we can bring into it that I don't like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the heart of it, I'm expressing something like that. When you cook for me, it means something to me. Like, I didn't say the specific thing you had to cook.
Yeah.
But like, oh babe, like you said, I love that you enjoy my cooking. Tonight I can't do it. So yeah, you did. I'm not going to push back. I'm going to leave it there.
That's fine.
Good job,
Thank
babe.
you for acknowledging that.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for doing it. All right. For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's important.
All right, so number 5.
Five. Focus on finding a solution,
Find a
not
solution.
winning.
Ooh, well, all of these are good. These
Focus
are good.
on finding a solution and not winning. One more time. Focus on finding a solution and not winning. In healthy relationships, the goal of an argument is never to win or to prove. Now, I said this before I even read the notes.
I know.
feel really good about the
Yeah.
fact that I broke.
That's
okay,
what I was saying.
cool,
This
yeah.
is good. Yeah.
In healthy relationships, the goal of an argument is never to win or prove the other person wrong. It should be to find a solution that works for both of you. After expressing your concerns and listening to each other, shift the conversation towards brainstorming towards solutions and compromise. Why does it help? It helps because the mindset strengthens the partnership by showing that you're on the same team, prioritizing resolution over being right, fosters collaboration, and helps repair the trust after disagreements. And I want to go back to something I said earlier, right? Everything all right? All right.
I need to take that.
All right. I got you. And I'm going to go back to something that I said earlier. You good? You good, babe? I'm going back to something that I said earlier about the trust piece, right? So let's say you're in a conversation, an argument, if you will, and you come out and you don't focus on the things that we talked about, right? You're not being solution based. You're not focusing on the end game for the end goal for both of you guys, which is stay together, and you're just really hammering in on being right. And in doing that, you say all kinds of disrespectful things and condescending things to your partner. You are no longer in a position to solve the problem, because now it's not at all about the problem. It's about what you said and how you said it and how you made them feel, as opposed to we have this real life issue that we're trying to deal with and we're trying to resolve that we're not resolving because now we're so focused on, I don't like the way you said that. Mm-hmm. I don't like that you said that to me. Mm-hmm. I don't like, we can stay on the problem too long.
Yeah.
And at some point in the conversation has to go from what is the problem that we have to what are our actionable solutions. Mm-hmm. So try to find a solution.
Yeah.
And that can apply in any situations. We can go through example after example after example. Everybody deserves to be heard, and everybody deserves to have solutions presented, because that's how we can move forward. And now we start sort of figuring out which solution works best for our relationship.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I would say, your mindset is going to strengthen your partnership. And like you said, it's just showing that you guys are one person, one sound, one team.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Toya. Okay. All right. So closing thoughts on this topic. So first of all, which one of the five, we'll give you guys homework. Which one of the five are you going to make an effort to capitalize on this week? All right. We got which of the five are going to be your point of emphasis? Everybody put in the comment section, if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, or iHeartMusic, please, in the comment section, let us know which one of the five are you going to focus on this week. I'm going to give you, let's see. 1, stick to the issue at hand. 2, use I statements instead of you statements, or use we statements and us statements. Take breaks when needed. Listen to understand, not to respond. And 5, focus on finding a solution, not winning. So which one are you going to focus in on? All right. So this week, as challenges arise, we want you to commit to practicing one of these tips. Start with active listening or using I statements. See how it impacts the conversation. Mm-hmm. Share your experiences with us by leaving a comment or sending a message. We love to hear how you're making progress in your relationships. And when you do post about it, make sure you hashtag pursuit of forever. Pursuit of forever. Yes. Or just tag us. Babe, you want to do a closing statement?
Sure. Arguments are natural in any relationship, and how you navigate those can define the strength and longevity of your partnership. By practicing these 5 tips and sticking to the issue, using I statements, taking breaks, active listening, and focusing on solutions, you can transform conflicts into opportunities for growth and connection with your partner. Make sure that you guys take time to reflect on how you handle arguments in your relationships, and also consider trying one or more of the tips during your next disagreement.
Yeah, for sure. That was a good topic. I really enjoyed that one. I hope you guys got as much out of it as we did. I definitely enjoyed it. I think it's something that's going to be beneficial to some couples out there.
Yeah, we hope so. I think so.
And I actually wanted to use this opportunity here as well to sort of bring in a new segment that I hadn't even talked to Toya about.
Okay.
So one of the goals, the main goal, honestly, of Pursuit of Forever is to uplift and promote marriage, love, staying together, longevity over the course of time. And we had a couple friends this week that celebrated some real milestone
a big milestone.
Big milestones in marriage. Yeah. And so I wanted to create a topic, a segment that is just highlight marriage, the marriage. I don't know what the segment's called yet, but people who celebrated big time wedding anniversaries. So I want to start out with Shayla and Cedric Tolliver.
Yes.
They're good friends of ours. Shout out to the Tollivers. They just celebrated
Tollivers.
23 years
Yes.
of marriage. Shout out to them.
Yes,
And shout out to Elliot and Cantina Chavis, who are celebrating 20 years of marriage. So 23 and 20 years, we are
almost 20.
we're at 20 years and 3 years. We had 20 years. That's really dope. I want to make sure if you guys are celebrating the anniversary, please feel free to use our hashtag Pursuit of Forever.
Yes.
We want to make sure we celebrate you. So if you celebrate an anniversary, we want to make sure that we are celebrating your anniversary with you and letting the world know how proud we are of you for staying in your marriage and making it work for one more year. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
We live in a time where people are down talking marriage. People are not uplifting the sanctity of marriage. People don't believe in staying in marriages. We definitely know that there are reasons that people get out of marriages and that all marriages aren't savable. But if it's worth fighting for, fight. If it's worth fighting for, fight. And if it's dangerous or you're being abused, get away as soon as possible because nobody deserves to suffer through abuse. All right.
Absolutely.
Shout out to again Cedric and Shayla Tolliver, the Tollivers, and also the Chavises for their anniversaries, 23 and 20 years respectively.
Congratulations.
All right.
Huge.
All right. So thank y'all so much for watching this week, and this is
Thank y'all for sharing.
And where's my music? Go. Is the music on?
Thank you guys for sharing and commenting. We appreciate y'all spending time with us tonight.
That's our time for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing your thoughts and opinions.
Be sure to tune in next time where we'll discuss all things love, marriage, parenting, and more.
If you have questions or comments about this week's broadcast or something that you'd like for us to discuss, please email us at pursuitofforever@gmail.com.
In the meantime, follow us on Facebook and Instagram under Pursuit of Forever and on X at Pursuit of 4, the number 4, ever.
And the Pursuit of Forever Date Night playlist is now available on Apple Music. Make sure you check it out. Let us know your favorite songs. Stay tuned, and we are always adding to it. And you can always give us songs to add to the Pursuit of Forever playlist as well.
In the chat, online, or on Spotify.
Yep.
Or iTunes. Make sure that you guys also look for special announcements regarding our upcoming couples retreats and workshops.
And remember, in closing, always remember that forever is worth the work. See y'all next time.
See you in 2 weeks.
Peace.